Brought to you by Hallow, the world's #1 prayer app. Hey, Dawn, what's happening?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. How about you?
Well, I am doing okay.
All right. So what's up?
I'm talking to you, so.
Some would say not okay, but
Right.
what's up?
Excuse me. Well, I am struggling with a decision that I know is morally wrong. I am a new Christian.
Okay.
So I'm finding my path there. And I know that this is morally wrong, but I still want to, I feel like I still want to explore it.
Okay.
I feel very turned on and very attracted about the idea of my husband being with another woman.
Okay. And you participating, you watching, you being there, or just the idea of it happening?
A little bit of all of the above. I don't know if I necessarily want to watch, but the idea of him being with someone else is very attractive to me. I've talked to him about potentially having an open marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to bring another man into it. I have zero desire to be with anybody else.
The way you just said it's I don't want another man. Men are gross. That was
a lot of them are.
Hey, trust
Let's be
me.
honest.
Yes, you're correct. So dig into this with me, okay? Okay. So jealousy can be a powerful, powerful aphrodisiac.
Okay.
Is this about a sense of aliveness and jealousy, and your heart rate would get up, and there'd be this moment of or tell me more about it. What when you picture this in your mind, or maybe you don't even picture it in your mind, but you go through the exercise of, tell me about it.
Well, I'm not sure if it's a jealousy thing, or maybe it is once I describe it. It's also kind of the idea of another woman finds my husband attractive and wants to be with my husband. And that is a really big compliment to me, because I just kind of look at it as though, hey, someone else wants to be with my husband, and I am lucky enough that he chose me, and that I get to be with him all the time.
And there's also a power dynamic where you get to give him permission.
Oh.
Almost as you're, not as much as your control over him, as much as you're in control of the other woman's desire.
Oh. I didn't even think about that.
Because it sounds like your husband in this exchange is the variable. He's the pawn in the chess game. The chess match is actually between you and other women.
Interesting.
And this may be the most amazing conversation to have with a baby in the background.
I was trying to keep him quiet.
No, it happens. It's life.
He's not even 2, so.
No. It makes this conversation even more rich, because why not?
Right, exactly.
So tell me about that. Let me ask you this. Where do you feel powerless with other women in your life?
Oh, with other women specifically, that's going to be, I feel like a little bit of that is my mom, feeling powerless there, but that's not, I'm not quite sure if that's some of it. Let's see, as far as powerless with other women.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask a deeper question.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you feel powerless in your own sexuality?
So that has been, I have felt pretty powerless since kids.
Tell me about it.
I've got a 3-year-old and almost 2-year-old. And my body, of course, is not the same.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 C-sections, so then it's really not the same. Because there's certain parts of my body that it'll just never be the way that it was. And then I had a hysterectomy on top of that just this past year, or earlier this year. So my body keeps fluctuating, which then, of course, doesn't make me feel very good about myself, which then, of course, doesn't make me want to be intimate with him. And then I've had a lot of health issues as well, which bring me a lot of pain, which then, of course, makes me not want to be physical.
Like vaginismus, like intercourse pain or pain elsewhere?
Mainly pain elsewhere.
Okay.
It'll hurt my back and my hips, and I've been in pain afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then that makes me not want to be intimate, and then I also feel bad that I can't give that part of our marriage to my husband when back before kids and things like that, we were very physical all the time.
So, so maybe I was wrong. Are you
okay?
Are you trying to outsource yourself?
In what way? What do you mean?
Are you trying to outsource the sexual part of your relationship to somebody else?
Sometimes. And it's not that I don't want to. Like, I enjoy sex with my husband. I actually enjoy our sex life when it is there. Mm-hmm. It's few and far between these days, between just having young kids and being in pain and all of these things, and me not feeling very confident about my body. I then feel bad, and I feel like my husband's physical needs are not being met, and that they should be met, and that because of that, I'm okay with, or at least I think I am, and I say it out loud. Yeah.
So
in theory.
Have you talked to him about not so much the threesome, or not so much him being with another woman, like open marriage, polyamory, not that. Have you talked about, or not polyamory, that was the wrong word, is consensual non-monogamy, right? Have you talked with him about what you just told me?
I have, yes.
I don't feel beautiful. I don't feel like I am the person that you deserve. I like being with you, and I can imagine how it would be kind of erotic to be the puppet master for somebody else being with you. That sounds kind of like I'd be in control, and it would be cool because I feel out of control because I want to be with you. My body is not participating right now.
I haven't said it exactly like that. And if I say it exactly like that, it'll be perfect because you know what you're talking about. So,
but does that ring true? Does that I don't want to put words in your mouth, but does that ring true? No,
that you hit the nail on the head.
Okay, so what does he say? What does he say?
He says that he understands about the physical and about the pain. He gets it because he's been with me from the beginning for all of this, and he understands. And the last thing he wants to do is cause me pain. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to see me cry after we've been intimate because I'm in so much pain, which has happened.
Sure.
And he also then relates. I've told him that I don't feel great about my body. Mm-hmm. And he said that he also relates because his body has also changed over the 10 years that we've been together. And he doesn't feel very confident about his either.
Okay. So I'll just say this kind of abruptly and boldly. Mm-hmm. I think that fantasies are actually really important. And I think that they can be incredibly powerful if they are discussed among, like, you and your husband, if y'all talk about them. But there's a sense of curiosity and playfulness, not a sense of, oh my gosh, right? Not a sense of judgment and how dare you. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I think they can be very important. I will also tell you that reality will, if you think you have self-doubt now, it will blow your world apart. You get what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah.
And so I don't want you to beat yourself up for thought crimes. And I don't want you to keep secrets from him. And my hope for all marriages and all relationships is that there can be some sort of playful, hey, dude, I had a crazy dream last night. No, not with my old college roommate. Like, where is that, right? Like, my
Yeah.
hope is that people can have that conversation because it's not real. It didn't happen. Right?
Right.
But the second order, I think in our current ethos, in our current world, if you have a feeling or if you have a fantasy, if you have an idea that pops into your head as a resolution for a real life challenge, or even forget the challenge, I just want to. I want to feel powerful. I want to experience whatever, puppet mastering, right? That it's somehow wrong to not do it. And I guess I've just sat in the ash of I thought this was a good idea. So much with so many different people, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you just told me was way, way more powerful than the idea of I want to open up my marriage, or I'm kind of turned on by the idea of having the kind of husband that would be so desirable that other women would be with him and I get to be the gatekeeper. Like that fantasy is not uncommon, by the way. And it's not, what do I say? It doesn't make you crazy or weird. But I'm way more compelled by the story underneath it. That you've lost your identity that you had as a woman because now your body is a factory, it's a machine to keep two kids alive. And you've lost your what you believe is eros and womanhood, and you've lost connection, and you don't look like you used to. Your husband admits to you, I'm kind of ashamed of how I look now. That to me is, my goodness. I wish you could see from where I'm sitting how rich that soil is for y'all two to build a new marriage from. Because the marriage as you had it is over. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. And now the choice is, do we want to blow it up or do we want to create a different kind of awesome? We get to pick that. And so my natural next question is, have you gone to a physical therapist and said, hey, I want to have lots and lots of reckless, wild sex, and every time in this position, my legs hurt, my back hurts, I want to go down a rabbit hole and figure this out. Not to quote unquote please my man, because I want it.
Right. Not a physical therapist, but I'm in Cairo, and she also does physical therapy,
Okay.
like exercises and stuff. I'm in that 3 days a week.
Is it working?
Other therapies. Not yet.
Okay. How long?
I have been, oh gosh. It's been probably 5 or 6 months, but about 2 months ago I got into a car accident, which made it worse.
Jeez
so now I'm
Louise.
kind of
starting over.
Yeah, so I'm starting over basically when I wasn't really making much progress to begin with.
I would love for you to make an appointment if you can afford it, even if it means skipping a chiropractic appointment for a while with a physical therapist, a trained physical therapist in your area, and fully lay out, here's my challenges.
Okay.
I would love for you just to explore it.
Okay.
I would also love you and your husband to sit down and explore. Hey, I'm sure he's got fantasies too. He's lived in this house with you also. I think I think in a strange way, they can be, and by the way, you can abuse people with your fantasies too, right? You can be like, I'm just trying to tell you the truth, right? I remember sitting with a young married couple and the guy was like at the mall and he's like, dude, I would love to be with her. And I'd be like, you're an idiot, right? Like he was overly graphic and like just moronic. You can hit people over the head with quote unquote truth also, right?
Right.
So I would love for y'all to sit down and say, okay, here we are. I don't feel good. I don't like how I look. You don't like how you look. We got 2 kids all the time. My body is not my own right now for this season. What does friendship look like? What does laughter look like? What does intimacy look like? having traditional, regular, reckless sex, that's off the table right now. What else can we do? How can we get creative and make the creativity part of the playfulness and part of the novelty? And I think it's exploring, what does novelty look like? Because novelty is important. What does novelty look like inside the bounds of this covenant you and I made, that it's you and I, ride or die till the end of time? Do you get what I'm saying?
I do. I'm just taking it all in. Yeah, because it used to be a thing. I mean, my husband and I used to tease each other all the time and like kind of provoke each other throughout the day for that build-up.
Yes. It's that sense of aliveness. How do I get my heart rate up?
Yeah.
And I think what the data tells me is the illusion is, once a heart rate settles inside of a marriage relationship, the only way to get my heart rate back up is to go seek it elsewhere, whether it's pornography, whether it is an extramarital affair, or it's just big-time flirting, or it is fantasies that slowly possibly open the door to reality. And I think the challenge, which I think is the best part, not the best part of being married, but one of the top parts, is what kind of crazy adventure can two people go on that they are constantly trying to heart rate raise each other?
I like that. Heart rate raise.
What an amazing adventure.
That's awesome.
But that means y'all both have to be able to talk. And that's why I love the fact that you're already able to say, I've got this like weird fantasy that makes no sense logically. Let's put it on the table. And I want to affirm you. Every blog you read, every Substack you read, everything's going to tell you to go do it. It's the new cool thing. And I think you're going to blow it all up.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. Well, and that's why I wanted to call, because I'm not convinced it is the actual right, quote unquote, thing to do.
It's a Xanax to cover up the fact that you love this man to the moon and back.
I do.
And you don't feel like you're enough. And then, God bless America, come find out he doesn't feel like he's enough.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to outsource how I feel. I'm going to feel a little powerful in the process, and he's going to go along with something he didn't want to do because he wants to love me. And then you're going to be sitting in the ash going, what have we done? Because you can't walk that one back.
Right.
But man, you want to talk about some amazing erotic energy. It's two people sitting down across the table being like, well, we blew our lives up. We have 2 young kids. Oh yeah, now we get to do it. We get to do whatever we want moving forward. What does raising your heart rate look like in this season? What does you feeling alive in this season look like? Well, for me, it's sex with the lights off for a while because, right? It's put on the table.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, well, you used to send flirty text and they don't do it for me anymore. But you know what does do it for me anymore? Just a note in my bag, in my briefcase. You looking me in the eyes and grabbing my face and saying, tonight, I'm going to figure something out. It's going to be different, but I'm going to figure something out. You better come home ready. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or call and leaving awful things on his answering machine. I don't know. You get to decide what it is, right? Who knows what it is?
Answering machine. I like how you said answering machine.
I know. I'm 114 years old.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I want you to show up on a pony with a letter, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
But y'all get to decide that. And underneath almost all of our fantasies is always a fear. Is always a desire. And where I see marriage, the reason I have so much faith in marriage is that when you have 2 people locked into the curiosity over judgment, not just cramming each other's desire underwater or burying it in concrete or shaming somebody, but saying, that sounds nuts. Tell me more. Or let's dig into that. All right. I'll hear your dream. It's going to be, all right, let's do it. And I can feel dude, I'm starting to feel like crazy jealous. I'm starting to get angry. Like, why is that? Where's that? Digging into those conversations, that's intimacy. And everybody listening to this, Talking about fantasies is not something you just wing at somebody. Talking about like, dude, I had a crazy dream that did not include you and it was uncomfortable and weird and I didn't like it. Or I kind of was like, got my heart rate all up weird. Oh my gosh, tell me about that. Like, there's a way to not weaponize that and to not be graphic and to not be overly abusive with it. But to lean into curiosity and lean into fun and lean into, but I just want to, Dawn, I want to tell you, you're not crazy. I don't think you're nuts. I think your leap has an algorithm to it. It makes sense. But I want to reverse that algorithm. I don't want to just blow your life up. I don't want you to look in the mirror and say, no. I'm still an amazing woman. It looks different now. My life is different. My body's different. Whew, my heart's the same. I'm worth feeling well. I'm worth pursuing sex and intimacy because I want it. My husband's worth that because I love him and I like it with him. And so what must be true? Let's move forward. Let's go start working through all of it. And we can do this together. Thank you for that call, Dawn. It's pretty impressive, pretty amazing. Appreciate you calling and being open and vulnerable. I'm 100% sure that your vulnerability is going to help a whole lot of people. Don't blow your life up, kid. I think you all got a pretty amazing marriage ahead of you. Download the Hallow app today and get 3 free months at hallow.com/Delony.